According to your faith, it is done unto you. Now that's a Bible verse, but you may ask, according to my faith, it is done unto me, it is done to you. Or you could say, it is done for you. How do you practice faith? Think about that. How do you practice faith? Faith is the evidence of things not seen, they say. Well, how would you practice that? A question you might ask yourself is this: what would you do if you knew you would not fail? That's one way to practice faith. Your faith is evident by your action in the direction of your desires. What is your belief about yourself? Do you believe you can achieve whatever it is that you want in life? If you actually believe that, you will take action in that direction. What kinds of action? That action may be prayer, it may be meditation, it may be visualization, it may be action on intuitive nudges from God or the universe or higher power, whatever you want to call it. God has many names throughout history, so it really matters not what name you put upon it. So many people throughout history have fought and died because someone else believed that God had a different name or that God was different. Well, God is different. What you believe God is or isn't is different for you than it is for me. Because we all view God, and I'm going to use the word God because it's much easier. We all view God through our own filters, our perceptions, and each of us has acquired filters that we see things through according to the environment we grew up in, according to the experiences of our life, according to how our parents raised us, according to how authority figures treated us, and the list goes on ad infinitum. So yes, we each see God differently, but is it the same God? Well, who am I to say? Really, who am I to say? I really don't know. I'm always amazed at how people are so sure they know. And these people that say they know are the ones that created things like the Crusades and have persecuted and, how would I say it, to be YouTube compliant, eliminated many people because they didn't believe in the God that they thought was the real God. An example is us, the Americans or the Europeans, or when we came over here to the US, we used the fact that they believed in a great spirit, or we called the Indians heathens because they didn't believe as us Christian folk did. Throughout history, people have used religion to justify heinous actions. But that's another video. I want to go back to belief. Keep this on a positive note. Your belief. What do you really believe? Do you believe you're a worthless worm? Do you believe that you'll never amount to anything? Do you believe you're born a worthless sinner and that only through Jesus Christ will you be saved? Saved from what? Saved from a state of consciousness that's called hell, or projected or how would I say, escalated to a state of consciousness which is called heaven. Heaven and hell are available to you right here on earth. You don't have to die to experience either one of those states of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is within. It's not out there. It's within you. And if you have the kingdom of heaven within you here, more than likely, I don't know this either, when you pass away, you will experience that in the other realm, if you like. That's what we'll call it. The other realm, the other dimension. No one really knows. Many people think they know. I don't know. I'm just giving you a hypothesis of what I've experienced in my life And of course, that's filtered through what I have experienced in my life. But what I do this for is this: you can take what you need and leave the rest. Whatever I tell you, you can research or try to contemplate it and see how it fits into your life. Are you afraid of the God you have today? You know, many parts in the Bible and many people say you got to fear God. But what they don't tell you is this, that the words they used many thousands of years ago, translated into today's language, doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. I know that from my own experience with speaking Spanish and English. Spanish is my second language. There are some things that can't translate accurately into another language. So when you think about the Bible, how many times it's been translated and interpreted throughout the years, you have to wonder about it. Some people say it's the infallible Word of God. I have to disagree with that. I could be wrong though, maybe they're right, because this book has been translated by men. And I don't know any man who is infallible. Now they say Jesus was infallible, but I don't know. I didn't know him personally. All I know is what someone has written down about him through many translations and many perceptions of what they believe Jesus to be, because there were only a few who actually knew him personally. I can't honestly say that Jesus was a real person. Now that may offend some people because I don't know. I was not there. Now you could say we have to believe that on faith. Well, whether he was or he wasn't really doesn't matter. What I do believe is that the principles I've read that he taught work. They're based on universal laws, if you want to call it that were actually here thousands of years before Jesus taught them. If you've heard of the Hermetica or the Kabbalion, those are the same principles. It's just like gravity. If you jump off the building, you're going to fall and hit the ground. If you jump off a high building, you may pass away when you hit the ground, unless you have a parachute. So basically, these things that Jesus taught are like our parachute. You can't destroy these universal laws, but you can learn to cooperate with them to achieve what you desire here on earth. We are all born with desires. We can never eliminate desires. I think the Buddhists teach that to have desire is, how would I say, I don't know if they'd say it's a bad thing, but what I've read is they want to eliminate desire. But even a desire to not have desire is a desire. So I believe it's impossible to eliminate desire. And there are nothing wrong with desires. It's just when they get out of harmony with nature or God is when they become a problem. The desire to have a woman, to procreate, to have children is a perfectly natural and good desire. But it's when, like when I was young, when I was married and I wanted to have a lot of women, which I did, then that kind of got out of line with God's will, at least for me anyway. And I ended up experiencing that hell on earth, where you feel like you're dying inside. And that's exactly what happened. I did. I died inside and I was reborn to a new life. And born again. See, there's a lot of truth to some of these religious terms they use. I was born again, because the person I was then and the person I am now is a very different person. The things I could do then and accept or live with are not even close to what I can't do now. Let's see, how did I say that? Did I say that right? What I'm saying is, I used to do a lot of things that I wouldn't even think about doing now. Just the thought of doing them makes me cringe and think, how could I do that to people? And yet I did it. And I somehow justified it. Basically, mostly it was like, my business life was good, but in my personal life, I was very unfaithful. And then somehow or another, I justified that. But eventually it catches up with you. As many of you may know if you've ever experienced that or lived that type of life. Really, all I can do here is share my experience, strength, and hope with you. And hopefully you can get something out of it that will help you in your life. But whatever you want in life, you can have if you truly desire it. Persistence, perseverance, and patience come into play greatly. Without that, it's very hard to achieve anything. But then that goes back to your faith, because if you believe, you will continue to press on and trudge the road of happy destiny, even when it looks like nothing is working, even when it looks like you failed at everything and you will never achieve your goal. Your faith in the unseen, in the vision of what you truly desire in life, will keep you pressing forward till you finally achieve your desire or something better. But to do this, you must trust. Trust the God of your understanding, that He is doing these things for you and not to you. Think about that today. Thanks for joining me. Hit that like button, subscribe. Share this with a friend if you think it will help them. Take care. Have a great day.